Burt Gold was a Jewish fellow who is not a good Jew, but he is a Jew. He used to ride with me. We rode together in the Straight Satans, and then in the Hells Angels. We were both patched over together, along with Four Fingered Jack, El Cid, and I think Chino at the same time. But he's just one of the crazy people.
Let's fucking go!
Oh God, where can you start with Bert? Oh, he'd screw anything that walked. Probably still will. If you have been anywhere near him with your old lady, I guarantee he has hit on her. I guarantee it. I don't care if he's 840 years old, impotent, and no balls. He's going to hit on your old lady. That's just the way he was. He brought in a girl from a mental institution, really pretty girl, and he was having an affair with her and with his wife living in the same house. And then the girl from the mental institution talked to her psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist told her that she should come clean with Bert's wife, and she did. I was at Bert's print shop when the news came in. You could tell by the expression on his face exactly what had happened. He went from big smile to getting hit in the face with a oblivy of cat. You know what oblivy is? Oblivy is a tube sock that you pack with soft cat. You tie a knot in it, and you use a pair of scissors and cut a small dime-sized hole in the tip. Then you swing it over your head. That will end riots. Who wants to fight when you got cat shit in your face? This one guy, we used to buy heroin from him. I didn't really like the guy. I thought he was an asshole myself. But I went over to his house one day. I was going to score from him, and he wasn't home. And I waited. Finally, I broke into his house, and he had a couple ounces of grass and an old, funky old color TV. A color TV wasn't even worth taking. I just took it for the hell of it. And then Bert calls me up. "Oh, you were seen. Yeah. That was my good friend you did that to." To this day, I don't think I've reminded him that he had been doing the guy's old lady 3 or 4 times a week for months. If that was his good buddy, I'd rather have him as an enemy. You know what I mean? Once, I think we were wearing our colors, Bert got a hold of a platinum credit card from a guy that worked in a Sears, and the guy that owned the Rolls Royce he got the card out of went to Europe for a while. So he got the card, and Bert ended up with it. And we ended up with it like at Robinson's, iMagnums, and buying top-of-the-line stuff, you know, looking like animals. People were just looking at it. We just charged, you know, $150 nightgown. You know. This is not like 1961, $150. That was a down payment on a house. We bought everything for it. I better get one of these for Lee. When Burt Gold and I used to steal motorcycles when we were in the Hells Angels in SoCal, we used to park up this hill across the street from Harley-Davidson, Santa Monica Harley-Davidson, and we'd watch the people that would come in there and pick up their brand new bikes and the bikes they just had worked on. Our special was with brand new bikes. Most of them people never even got them home. We had them before they even got them home. They'd stop in to get a pack of cigarettes or a 6-pack. We had it. They never caught on to us either. That's where we always sat. We could pick bikes off there. Bert and I went to MC Supply once in LA. Went down there to buy some coil wire or something. And on the way out, there's these left cases for motorcycle engines. Now, if you got a blank left case, you've got a motorcycle. You can put whatever numbers you want on that thing, and it's yours. But it's illegal to own a blank left case. You have to have You have to go to the DMV, get a release from them, show that the original case is destroyed. Then they'll give you a permit to go get another one. And they'll stamp it right there for you. Well, Bert sees these left cases up there, and I go, Bert, don't you need a left case? He says, yeah. He says, hell yes, I need one. I don't know where I can get one. I said, there's some right up there. This kid's, he had to be new. So how much are them left cases up there? He goes to the book, $48. I tell him, hell, Bert, that's a good price. He says, yeah. He says, will you take a check? The guy says, yeah. I said, that's okay, Bert, I got cash. We don't want to leave no paper trail. So I said, as long as I'm building that other engine, I might as well get one too. So we bought two brand new left cases, paid for them, and walked out of there. Two brand new motorcycles. See, the best way to get a motorcycle is to have a lot of friends. You get a lot of friends, they all have receipts for parts. If you can come up with enough receipts to build a motorcycle, you take your receipts to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and they will give you what they call a DRF pink slip. It's a custom construction pink slip. You have no engine numbers. Your numbers go on your frame. You can have 100 motorcycles, and all the numbers are on the frame. Yeah, but if you want a brand, I don't know how many motorcycles it took to build Bert's bike that got taken. It was funny. He must have stolen 100 bikes to build that bike. He did not buy one single part on that bike. If he needed an airline or a valve stem for a tire, he'd steal a whole bike just to get that valve stem. And it gets a little weird in here. Bert had a gun. I rode the motorcycle. I was taking it up to it was Frank's or Benz. That's their names. They put their names. That was the guy's shop name, was Benz. It always bothered me, but it didn't bother them any. And on the way out there, I'm riding this dresser that's a funeral bike. So all these highway patrolmen recognize it as a funeral bike, and they're all waving at me. So I'm waving back at all the highway patrolmen. And Bert was ahead of me. And all of a sudden he stops and he lets me go past him. And then he pulls up about a half a block behind me. And we got to where we were taking the bike and got off. And I said, what the hell did you do that? Let me go by. And he says, if those two highway patrolmen would have pulled you over, I was going to shoot them. Are you fucking crazy? I'll go to jail for that bike. You don't shoot no goddamn cop with me around. That's crazy. But he was perfectly willing to shoot them cops. He got me sent to the joint. I was supposed to get probation, and he was supposed to get a little county time. I had no priors. He had some priors. He walked into the courtroom with his chin in his chest, stoned on heroin. Judge looked at him, looked at me, sent me to the penitentiary. Bert pissed him off. I couldn't believe it. But he did smuggle in a joint for me. I'll say that for him. We were arrested. Bert had a possession of a gun. We were arrested in the 77th precinct. That's a shooter's precinct. The list for people waiting for cops to get on the list to get there to the 77th precinct is longer than the list is to get into Beverly Hills. If you want to shoot, that's the precinct you want to go to. They have the highest shooting incidents of any other precinct in the country. But Bert and I and Shorty were in jail together, and they had Bert off with these other guys, these black guys, and they called Bert and myself and Shorty. So, okay, you guys are getting released. So we turn and we're walking out, and this one black guy, this big black guy, sticks his cigarette to the bars and says, hey man, can I get a light? Because Bert had the matches and he had the cigarette. Bert says, sure. The guy sticks the cigarette up to the bars. Bert takes it and crumples it up and throws it on the floor and leaves. We get out to booking, ready to get out, and they got a hold on Bert. He's not going anywhere. I hope they put him back in a different cell. Bail was $500, and I think I had like 220, and Shorty had 200. We needed like $27 or something to get him out. We'll just call Cookie. And I thought, why should we disturb Cookie? Let's leave him in there for a while. We left him.
Who was Cookie?
That was his future wife.